Joining us now, we've got Rohan Suryavanshi of Dilip Buildcon, weak execution construction, and we've got underperformance coming in. So what's the way forward? Rohan, thanks for joining us. What happens, in Q3 across the board? We're seeing that slowdown. What went wrong in execution in this quarter?
Hi, Abha. Thanks for having me on your show. So what happened in Q3 was there was an extended monsoon. We saw monsoons till mid of November. And in construction, if you have rainfall happening, you obviously can't do any construction, more so in the road construction space. So I think that was one of the key reasons for the numbers being a little muted. But now that most government orders have their appointed dates and there is a strong order pipeline coming for the future as well, I don't think so we should be seeing any more surprises going forward.
All right. Okay, fair enough. Given that you're saying that now some of those issues are behind with respect to the overall rainfall. But going forward, do you think that the extended or appointment date delay has had an issue or played out on your numbers, and that in turn has impacted the results of various companies as well?
Absolutely. A lot of these contracts that we've received appointed dates were given in March 18. And the last appointed date that we've received has been in December of 19. So almost a little shy of just 2 years after we had received the contract, we have gotten the appointed date. Now, this date should have been received in about 7 months or so. So we have been delayed by more than a year in terms of appointed dates. So obviously that has, hit the revenue because we had started preparing for those contracts. We had committed our financial and our equipment and our technical resources to there, expecting that those projects to start. Given that that didn't happen on time, obviously the revenue that we were expecting also took a hit. And given that we already had that order book, we did not go out there and bid for more beyond that. So all those things contributed to the factor, and that's the same thing that has happened across the board. But as of now, all the projects that us or most of the other players have appointed dates in place. People have already mobilized their resources, and like I said, going forward, we should see a very good and strong revenue coming from all these companies.
Rohan, one thing is the backlog, but what about new order visibility? Do you think that is anywhere on the horizon?
Asha, excellent question. I think there is a very strong visibility of contracts going forward as well. If I talk about right now, and especially about the sectors that we are in, so NHAI already has about 80,000 crores of road contracts that they have floated, and the bidding is on for them. And as of lately, we've been seeing those contracts being awarded and won by different companies. So I am very, very positive because of the pipeline that is already in place. The government has announced that 100 lakh crore investment in infra, which showcases their vision and intention. And more than that, they have started working on the fine print of that document. They have given the broad scope as of now, what areas they want to do. The deeper work on all of those documents is underway. So at least it gives us comfort that there is a pipeline that the government is thinking about, and there is a very strong sort of work that is happening at the ground level on those. So I personally think in the areas that we are working in, road, irrigation, mining, all these areas, there is a strong pipeline, and I don't foresee it to have any large surprises going forward.
Sure. Aside of, things on ground, Rohan, the bigger problem was that liquidity had gotten choked in the system, not for you, but overall at an industry level. Are things now easing out when it comes to liquidity and lending from banks in that sense?
Absolutely right, Aisha. There had been issues in the liquidity in the past, and part of the reason was we had a number of nationalized banks who usually lend to the sector under PCA. And then we had the whole IL&FS crisis, which led to a further liquidity squeezing. So more than anything, there was a lot of negative play that was happening on everyone's mind, where people were just scared to lend. And that had kind of brought everything to a slowdown. But as of now, given that the government has tried to merge merge all these banks, and that is underway and under process. There has been victories in the sector, like all those projects that have been awarded under HAM have seen good execution. The banks are seeing a good movement there. So there is now a much better situation on the ground in terms of the financial system as well, as it was maybe a year and a half earlier. So thankfully, even I think the worst time that most construction companies saw is behind all of us. And I can only see positivity growing from it, just because of, like I said, all these things that have happened, external and internal. External being the government merging all these banks, internal being the performance on the HAM being satisfactory, and them coming online.
Thanks very much for taking time out and giving us a sense as to what the execution outlook is. Well, it is